So my first group, what type of group is it? Public, private, yeah. And then I probably need to extend this a little bit just to make it, let's see, width, let's say 98% maybe. I don't know what that will do. Okay. What about 105? I think I may have tried this before. Okay, so let's try 1/4. Obviously, there are better ways of doing this, but just to illustrate the point, so my first group, I want to remove that and see, okay, it's good group name, good. And then about the group right here, and we can obviously save. That is alrighty. So now we need to know what happens when we actually save. So let's go to group.php itself, and let's go up to where the posting happens. So right here, when we post something, yes. So we're assuming we bypass that because this is not what it is. And if first name is saved here, this is what we were looking for. First name, it means we are probably dealing with settings here, right? So settings class, save, there's the post, and then there's the ID. Now your instinct could be, let's create a new class to run the group saving of settings. But remember that we used exactly the same table. Everything was the same table. So there's actually no need to create something new unless we go in and check the specifics of save settings. So let's go to classes and settings here and save settings here. Do we have a loop? So there's data here. Looking at the limited amount of code, I'm thinking there's probably a loop. So yes, there is a loop. So this is the advantage of this loop, because it just gets whatever you give it and it's just going to save it as such. So this is fine, meaning we don't need to touch settings.php. All we have to do is make sure that the correct user ID is given. So here I'll remove all that and use group data, of course, like that. Okay, so seems good. So let's give it a shot, shall we? So right here, I want to change my group name. I'll just put a 2 at the end. And then here I will change the about section, which will be, this is info about the group. And let's do a save. So undefined index password on line 22 in settings. So turns out we do need to touch settings after all. Yeah, so 22 is right here. Password equal to. So let's see what other, so it's the same complaint. Password 1, password 2. This one and this one. Yes. Okay, so there's an easy fix here. We can put a wait a minute here. So we're going through data here. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to check for is if this is set here. So I'll copy this. So I'll say password is equal to. Let's check if this is set. So we're just going to say is set that. So if that is set, let's put our question mark, and then actually there's a way you can simplify, but I don't know if it's appropriate here. It seems like a too advanced thing, because if this if statement is if this is set, then let's set it to that same item, and then we'll put a full colon here, or else we set it to something else like an empty string. or we can set it to no, like that. That's entirely up to you. So now, instead of doing this is set and then setting it like that, you could just remove all this and put another question mark there, like this, and then yeah, I think this is it, just like this. So if this is set, this is going to be set to itself, otherwise it's going to be set to no. So this is one way of doing the if statement, even shorter than the other one. But let me not confuse you here. Let's go back to this the way it is, what we're used to. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing for password here. I want it to be more robust. So what I will do here, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. So we unset it right there, right? Ah. Data password hash. Okay, now we can't hash an empty string here, so what are we going to do? I don't want the, wait a minute, if string length password is less than 30, then we save. Okay, I see. Okay, so to avoid getting here at all, I would just ask if this is set at some point here. Like that. I think that should sort the problem out, so that we don't get here at all if the password 2 is not set. Okay, so let's give it one last shot. So resend the message. There we go. So everything looks fine, and I got my, as you can see, the thing has changed here. My first group edited like so. Let's save. Now let's go to the about section and see if we get the about, and yeah, there we go. This info is the about the group. So settings like that. Edited. Oh, I think there's a limit, there's a word limit on letter limit on how many I can put on the group name. So this limit probably comes in from the database. So if you want to edit that, you can just go to users and look at the structure and change how long the first name is, because right now it's just 20 characters, so you can adjust it to suit your needs. For now, I'll remove that, but I want to see if I can change my the type to private. So also let's show down here whether this group is private or not. So right here, my first group here, let's go back to group.php and let's say I'm looking for change cover. There it is. So group data cover. Now I should look for, yeah, this is actually the wrong place. I need to look for here, first name. So right here I would do this, put a break tag, and then yeah, because there's 20 pixels here, so this is going to be rather big, but it's okay. Let's do group type, like so. Refresh. Nope, do not resend, just refresh like that. And private, so what we can say is group at the end, like that. And then actually not there, maybe there, like so. Something here, like that, and then leave a space. Yeah, let's see what that does. Private group, yeah, but we want it to be smaller, so I'll put a span here, so just so I can change the text, the font size. So I'll say style, font size, let's try 12 pixels. That's entirely up to you how you go about doing that. Okay, so there we go. Private group, maybe a capital letter here will suffice. Okay, looking good. So we have our settings here, which work just fine now, and it's private group. If I change that to public and save, let's refresh again. Oh, this is a problem here. We have to deal with that. So public group. So the reason that is happening is I'm not refreshing my page after I do what I do. So let's go to the top here. Once we change the settings, we're supposed to be able to refresh our page right there. So which is the same thing I do here. So I should do that over there. It's better to refresh the page so that it doesn't ask you to send the data every time. So let's change this back to private, shall we? And hit save. And it refreshes private. But because we know we are going to settings here, so I think it's appropriate to concatenate settings, yes, like so, at the very end. So let's try that again. Settings, change it back to the normal public and save. Okay, and we are back to settings. All right, so far so good. Everything seems to be functioning as it should. I will see you in the next video where we begin to see how we can actually invite people. See you then.